Hello there. My name is Maxwell Ivey. I'm known around the world as the blind blogger, and I'm here on the Critical Thinking Podcast, thinking shit up one podcast at a time.
It's okay. We know how to do this. We're professionals.
Professional idiots.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, guys. Welcome to another exciting episode of Critical Thinking Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, along with my co-host,
Rick the Rizzo.
Sean the Irishman.
Josh, what was
the Mad Dog, man.
Oh, that was pretty lame.
He's already had too much.
Josh, the I don't remember why I'm here guy, along with our wonderful new guest,
Maxwell Ivey. All right, Mick Kyle, where's our intro?
Mick Kyle.
Mick Kyle.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Critical Thinking Podcast. Right here, we share a pint with my fellow podcasters. We got Rick, that can't seem to find his red beard, Lopez. We got this Irish bastard over here. I don't remember your fucking name. And you, who the fuck are you?
It's like red beard. It's like, give me a marker.
Man, you Mexican. You can't have no damn red beard. Get the hell out of here. They call you brown beard.
Well, I got gray hairs. They don't look red.
Hey, just wait, man. He's gonna be the infiltration into the IRA up in New York. It's gonna happen. Rick O. Lopez.
Rick Olo Lopez? What the hell? I cut your lawn for free. It's no problems. All right, okay. Now we'll do the actual intro. And then, Rick, I'll have you, is it Sean?
Okay, I wish to retract my previous statement. Y'all better edit the hell out of this.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Critical Thinking Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, along with my co-host,
Rick the Rizzo, and our other co-host,
Sean.
and the other Mexican in the room, Miguel G.
And this is a critical look at all things gaming, movies, collectibles, and so much more.
Okay, so we're going into box office numbers, but first we will be talking about how we had our weekend. And Kyle, since you come last to the circle, we're going to start with you. How has your week been, Kyle?
My week or my weekend?
Both, either.
I went to the rodeo, so that was pretty cool. Got to see, I guess it's Blake Shelton or whatever. It was all right. And then I got my truck fixed, so that was good. Turns out it was something really stupid, and although that was a good thing, but it was also a bad thing because I already had pulled the transmission out, and it was tearing it apart when I found out it was something dumb. So, put it all back together, and the bastard works good. And obviously I was outside working on a diesel when y'all showed up. So, yeah, that was the summary of my weekend. Lots of cars, which is pretty atypical of Kyle considering what I do.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Mine was partially sleeping, getting over all this allergy bullshit that's going on. And then I actually did something that's not typical for me, and that was work on my GMC Terrain yesterday and got it drivable. Right. So that's always a positive note.
You see, my influence is already spreading. That's what it is. Once you're around me, all of a sudden everybody thinks they can fix their own car.
No, I actually had my dad helping me out with that.
So you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to be like, it was all me.
No, dude. I am automechanically retarded. I've never worked on cars before, so...
Okay, when the screw rod breaks loose from the treadle, that's when you know you're fucked. Doesn't even exist. How about you, Rick?
Oh, I'm happy. Kyle fixed my car. I'm actually driving again.
Yeah.
Yay. Now I got no HOV lane, just traffic again. Shit.
I told you to get one of those sex dolls and stuff. You'd be good to go.
Put it in the shotgun.
Yeah, it's good for two purposes.
Wow. See, it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
It's a win. You know?
Other than that, I started Dark Souls 3. That was about it.
What about you, Sean?
My weekend was awesome. I got to have some authentic, I can't even think of what nationality she's at all of a sudden. Wow. My brain's fucked right now, guys.
Is she Korean or Vietnamese?
She's Vietnamese. Yeah, I got to have some Vietnamese home-cooked food, so that was awesome because my brother got a Vietnamese girlfriend. Woo! Score for the family. And I also, aside from that, hey, because we get our cooking, man. I mean, I don't care what he gets. It's what I get that matters out of this deal. That's behind closed doors. I don't care what he gets. It's what I get that matters here, man. And other than that, I went to Black Panther the second time with my little sister just today. and we had no vehicles except her motorcycle, so I got to be on the back of her motorcycle.
He rode, bitch.
Bitch. So imagine 4 foot tall like Kelsey and like 6'1" me, and they're in the back cleaning like for my dear life, praying to God I don't fall off and die because I haven't ridden on the back of a motorcycle for like, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years. I haven't been on a motorcycle for that length of time. So I was like, what do I do? What do I hold on to? I'm going to crush this poor little thing that's in front of me. Like, I don't want to die and I don't want to kill her either. So what's the best compromise here? And we made it there.
You walked to the theater. That's pretty much what the compromise is.
No, I made it the whole ride.
You take an Uber. You take a fucking Uber and you shut your face.
But where's the adventure in that?
Well.
I had to risk my life to get her there to the theater together. You know, it's much more interesting that way. And
some Uber rides can be interesting.
That's true. That can be a life risk in itself, too.
No, I saw an article. Guys in New York was there for like some type of business trip. They went out drinking, called an Uber. Uber drove him all the way to his home in New Jersey.
Wow. God dang, that's crazy.
$1,600.
Yeah.
Mere pocket change. Mere pocket change.
And when I read that story, I'm like, how many people have $1,600 on their credit card or in their PayPal account where they could have actually paid that bill in the first place? I mean, $1,600.
Hey, that's none of us here. Just for the record.
Yeah, I mean, $1,600, and of course, the courage of the driver to charge that in the first place, because, you know, the Uber guy does have a lot of influence over the final bill, so.
Wow.
Yeah. He got to buy the short and curlies. That's what he's got to.
But yeah, that's pretty much my weekend. What about you, Max? How's your week been?
I've been sitting there listening to you guys and realized that for the last week or two, I have no life, so I have nothing to tell you guys about. I didn't go anywhere, I didn't do anything. I hung out with the family, I worked, and so who knows it. One of you guys said you went to the rodeo, so does that mean that some of y'all live in Houston?
No, we all live in Houston.
Yeah, we're all Houston local.
Except for Josh here. He doesn't even know where he is.
All right, y'all gonna have to add my email and your phone and my phone number to y'all's address books, and the next time y'all go do something crazy, I'll go with you.
Hell yeah.
Hey, sounds good, Max.
Nice. So it's funny. All right. Hookers for everybody. wait a second.
That reminds me of a question I get asked all the time about my latest book, The Blind Blogger's New York City Adventures. In there's pictures taken of me walking around Times Square, and people were like, Max, there's pictures of you in front of several adult men's establishments. Did you go to any of them? I said, hell no, man. I was in New York on a budget.
I can't afford that.
Nice.
I mean, this is Times Square. If I was going to do something like that, I'd have to get out in the neighborhood or something, you know. So,
awesome. Well, that's about it for our round table. So we'll get into the box office number. Who wants to do the box office numbers? Kyle, how about you? You haven't been back.
What the fuck? I knew it. Y'all were all looking at me. You were like, all right, Kyle.
Actually, I was looking at Josh. I was like, hey, we're going to have Josh do this one.
All right, fine. I'll do it.
It's fine.
I'll do it, and then we'll split it. So I'll do the first part, and then you can do the part that I don't do, which is none of it. Anyways, so you ready to do this? You got it. Are you ready?
Breathe the breath of the dragon.
No.
No, I did fart. So. Yeah. All right, go for it.
Weekend of March 2nd through the 4th. Brought to you by Uncanny Comics. What's their address?
Located in Rosenberg, Texas on Avenue I.
Yeah, thank you.
For all your comic needs, you a nerd? You have nerd friends? Take them down to Uncanny Comics. Josh there will take care of
you. He just nailed that. He just nailed the cheesy commercial voice perfectly.
Oh, yeah. You have no idea. You have no idea.
All right, so at number 1, again, we have Black Panther reigning in a total of $66.3 million with a total U.S. box office of $501 million and has the world worldwide hit $1 billion yet, or is it still around 900 something?
I think it's probably still around 900 something right now.
Okay, so it'll easily break $1 billion. At number 2, we have Red Sparrow. This is its first week with 16.8 million. Budget of $69 million. Ooh, that's not too bad.
They can't be happy.
No.
Womp, 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 womp. You know what? They killed that movie, and it's right off the bat. Because one, they got, no offense, but they got the what's her face from
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Because she's got literally, she reminds me very much of the other one from
Kristen Stewart?
Yeah, no personality, like a blank piece of cardboard. They should have got somebody. To my honest opinion, I'm not saying she doesn't look good, but she definitely doesn't act very acty.
They should have just borrowed Scarlett Johansson.
That's basically what the character is.
Yeah. But then that's more typecasting for Scarlett Johansson, though.
But, I mean, it works.
It works.
What works is what works, you know, and this didn't work, obviously.
True. Well, I mean,
it's typecasting because Scarlett Johansson has become the embodiment of the female superheroine. I mean, there is her and everybody else.
That's true. That's exactly true.
All right, and at number 3, we have Death Wish. Also first week, rating in 13 million with a budget of 30 million.
Womp womp.
I mean, it made almost half. That's not too bad.
Yeah, for that low of a budget, they did really well on the budget, you know, wise.
That's a Bruce Willis movie.
Is it? Wow, Bruce Willis doing that low of a budget? Wow.
He must have done. He must have donated. He must have worked on percentage. But how bad do you think those numbers were affected by it being 2 weeks after the thing down in Florida?
Yeah, they were saying it might have been a bad time for that movie to come out.
Yeah, a little bit
because of all those situations.
Well, I think also too they didn't market it right. I mean, you're reintroducing the Death Wish series.
True.
You know, so it's like, which by the way, on our Voodoo, I bought Death Wish 3. That's awesome. But anyways, they were trying to revamp it, and yeah, it's unfortunate it came out during that time, but the marketing was suck, the trailer was suck, and no offense, but I really wish they would stop casting. Bruce Willis just has dropped the ball. I mean, I'll be totally honest. Like, just stop casting that guy. It's like Tom Cruise. Just stop it. Just stop. It's okay. It's over. But again, he's so typecast that every time you see him in those movies, you already know it's like, oh, okay.
Action-y
Yeah, it's
role.
an action-y style, like, weird. He doesn't even talk anymore. He doesn't even do his cool one-liners anymore. It's just kind of him standing there.
Yeah, my problem with you mentioned Tom Cruise, and my problem with Tom Cruise is the guy is a little nothing, and they keep casting in these big badass action hero roles, and I pretty much stopped paying attention to him when they cast him as Jack Reacher, because I've read all the Jack Reacher novels. Jack Reacher is 6'4", 225 pounds, will kill you in a heartbeat. Tom Cruise is what, 5'9"?
Yeah, about
5'9", 5'1".
And he does his own stunts. I mean, give him that much.
And I know when I go to the movies, I can't see the guys on the screen, but still, I get that image in my head. I'm like, he ain't Jack Reacher.
No, and he does do his own stunts, Sean. You have to kind of give him that, except for one thing. That's because he thinks he's God. That's not fair. That's not fair. I mean, Scientology wrote his own thing. So apparently at this point, hey, you know what I'm saying? What?
Yeah.
It's like, I can do anything. I can fly. Oh, okay. So, so I'm just saying.
So it's mind over matter. Okay.
Yeah,
well, he thought he could fly until he broke his ankle in that last Mission Impossible.
No, but he instantaneously healed himself through his own touch. I'm just saying, whatever. Well, what's next? What we got?
All right, at number 4, we have Game Night. This is its second week. It pulled in 10.4 million, total of 33.2 million with a budget of 37. It's almost made its budget in 2 weeks. That's decent.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, any of these right now, you have to give them some props that, these 1 and 2 weekers, they're within the blast radius of Black Panther, which has dominated everywhere. And in my opinion, is one of the few things that deserves the kind of viral attention it's gotten. Like,
true.
It really actually deserves that. But either way, for any other movies trying to squeeze in this time period, good luck getting any profits. Everybody's going to Black Panther.
Hey, how many of y'all seen Wayne's World where Garth is like, we don't like to give ourselves up into labels? All I could think of when Sean was talking right now was literally like, it's like, yeah, the blast radius of Black Panther brought to you by Black Panther Radio. Have you seen Black Panther? You
come on, give the boy props for trying to use the big boy words. Give him some love.
Wow.
Nice.
He already became a member of critical thinking with that statement.
Somebody's got to talk to the advertisers and explain things to them in words they're used to hearing.
Brought to you by Black Panther. Have you seen Black Panther, Marvel's new studio movie? Gotta check it out. No, first of all, what the fuck is Game Night? What is that?
Game Night was that?
That's the Clue ripoff kind of movie?
Yeah,
It's
comedy
with-
horror kind of thing.
Jason Bateman and him and his wife, they got together because they played games like going to, like at bars, they have the game things. They were doing well.
Oh.
And so they did, like all their friends did game night. And so they did like a murder mystery. And it ends up being real.
Oh. So they really are running out of ideas.
Yes.
I mean, so you just literally said somebody went to Chili's and played a lot of little games and they made a movie out of it. Fan-fucking-tastic, guys. That's it. I retire. I no need for this shit anymore. They're all crap. We're lit. Bye-bye.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing, though. That movie wasn't made for the U.S. market. I don't think so, because I listen to a lot of UK and European television, because in the UK, they have a law that requires every show that comes on your television to have what's called audio descriptions, which means they have a narrator that when people aren't talking, they'll tell you what the heck's going on. And in the UK, pub night is almost a religion. Every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Sunday, people are at their local bar, they're at their local Chili's, whatever they call Chili's over there, and they're doing pub night. It's a serious thing. I mean, people lose friendships over pub night, but it's much more serious in Europe than it is here. And I honestly don't think this movie was made for our market.
That's the first time I've heard of it. So most of the time we push ours to the side and go, don't let the kids play on it because it costs me money. You know what I'm saying?
So we really would need to see the world box office numbers and see how it fared over in the UK and whatnot to get a fair pronunciation over this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was also made by Warner Brothers. So, I mean, for them to make something that's more European oriented,
I could see them angling it because of the fact that they are getting beat by Disney, like in the whole DC versus Marvel area and a lot of others. I could see them trying to kowtow
and hit other markets.
Other markets. Yeah,
Okay.
It could be a survival tactic.
Yeah, plus it came to them from a couple of people who have some name value, so they might have listened to a project they shouldn't have.
Oh, gotcha. Nice.
Next.
Okay, and on to number 5, we have Peter Rabbit on its 4th week. This weekend it pulled in $10 million, total of $84 million. It's nearly made double its budget of $50 million, but it's, I don't know, controversial, so it's been pulling in a little bit.
All right, hit me. What is it?
So the controversial was about basically a fat joke. That's basically all it was. But
one of the characters has the eating disorder where you just continually gain weight. No matter
I had that too. It's called I ate too fucking much. I mean, realistically,
Someone took offensive to it, and then that's what caused a controversy on it. Knowing that all of us here and everybody here just blow it off and laugh about it because that's what you're supposed to do.
Hey, you know what? It is my right to be offended. Okay, I'm coming from a former fat guy. I am very offended by the fact that this movie didn't come out sooner, so I could realize how fat I was.
I'm going to disagree with you because I used to be almost 600 pounds. I had gastric surgery. I went through a lot of classes where they taught us to change our lifestyle and pick up new habits. And I wouldn't have been offended by this. This joke doesn't bother me at all.
Oh, I was totally not offended. I was being totally sarcastic, just for the record. Because I was like 300-something pounds at one point in my life, and then I lost a bunch of weight and got fit, and I just think it's and then just recently lost another 50 pounds because I'd gained up there again. But
it's people are just in too big a hurry to get pissed off over anything, and you know as well as I do, there are a certain percentage of the world that get up every morning just waiting for a reason to be upset.
Well, I'm upset that you're upset, and that's it. I'm striking. I'm going on strike. No more. I'm upset. That is ridiculous.
Man, we got to get this guy's show on Sirius or something. He is killing it.
No, but you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because do you think? And I want to go back to another movie. This is a review we did a long time ago. We did a movie over the dog one. A Dog's Purpose, remember? Yeah. And Dog's Purpose was a good movie. It pulled at the heartstrings. I like dogs. I don't love dogs, but I like dogs, and I understand. And this movie pulled it. But do you really think, just for a second, that even though that video came out where the dog was being thrown in the water and everybody freaked out, was like, "Boo, the dog doggies underwater, even though we know these dogs are fucking trained and all this other stuff, and they probably eat better than I fucking do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, and so this YouTube video came out, and everybody, big controversy. But do you know secretly they were in that boardroom going like, thank God, a controversy. This movie's going to make us so much money now. People are going to see it just to see it. And I'm wondering if the same, it's not like they're doing it on purpose, like fake news, just in, another fake gun shooting. But what I'm thinking in my mind is, do you think that maybe when this movie came out, they secretly were going like, please, somebody make a fat joke. Please, somebody fuck up somewhere.
I wouldn't put it past them. And I think that there are certain studios who that's their target audience. They're looking to create a controversy. I don't know if y'all remember it, but Eric Bischoff, the former wrestling promoter, when he released his autobiography, the book was titled "Controversy Creates Cash." And there are actually some bloggers, they're blogging coaches out there who will tell people, if you want to become rich and famous as a blogger, piss people off. Have an opinion, an outrageous opinion. Piss them off, make them mad. Half the people will follow you because they love you. Half the people will follow you because they hate you and hope you're going to die. Either way, you'll get paid. So, yeah, I could see a studio doing that on purpose and praying for a controversy. Although the problem is when you get a controversy,
you're taking notes, guys. Come on, man.
Which way is it going? Which way is it going to break? Because that's the thing: is which way is the controversy going to break? Are you going to ride it, or is it going to roll over you like one of them 40-foot waves they show on the Nature Channel?
We all need to take notes, and I know that. First of all, fuck all of y'all. I hate everything. I hate everyone. Your green shirt offends me, sir. Your hat offends me, and your red shirt, you can just kiss my ass. That's it. I'm banning shirts. I just go all out. I hate everything. Everything is a controversy. No, but what's sad part is as sad as that is, I understand it, and I kind of agree with it in a way. Like, not in a way, like I completely 100% agree with it. But it's sad that people link that kind of stuff. Like, they don't realize that everyone has assholes, just like everyone has opinions, and we all have our own opinion, but we don't have to get offended by every damn thing, like as if the real world doesn't just keep rolling on through. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the really bad thing about that dog movie was they've got pages and pages of rules on what you have to do when you have dogs on the set. And there's actually a long-running joke in Hollywood that the animals are treated better than the child stars.
Well, told you. Say eat better than I do. In fact, I haven't eaten anything. Come on, guys. Give me a bone here.
Kyle, the abused child star.
Throw me another fish head, me lord. Throw me another. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten for days.
I feel like the straight man in a 40s comedy team.
Oh, damn. You know how I know y'all are gay? Because the blind guy called you gay. That's why I know you're gay.
We have any honorable mentions for this week?
I'm in hell, Jumanji.
Number 7. Oh my God. Look at that. Still.
And The Greatest Showman, number 9.
Yeah,
still
wow.
I still have not seen The Greatest Showman, and I want to.
You need
it's a really
to.
good movie.
Yeah, I need to.
Absolutely.
Anything else? We got anything else? Rick, you in control of the mouse, motherfucker. Scroll it down. Scroll it down.
Scroll down. All right, there we go.
Oh God, the post.
I heard something about The Shape of Water. They said that's just like a remake of Splash.
Wow.
No, I don't. No. I don't know what it's about, but it's one of those thinking movies. So I think you're wrong.
Well, no. Basically, what they did was they took Splash and a lot of things that happened in that movie, and then they showed The Shape of Water, and it actually almost went consistent.
So what you're saying is they took a really funny movie from like the 80s, and they totally took the plot line, completely fucked it up, and made a serious movie?
Yes.
Ah, great.
It made a very, very, very serious movie.
That is so reverse.
No, I have to admit, it did win Oscars, though.
It did win.
Yeah.
Really?
And the conversation that they were having last night was, are we stuck in another one of these loops where in order to win an Academy Award, your movie has to suck at the box office? And so
Isn't that all the time, though?
But I think we're going to change that next year, because I think Black Panther's got a real chance to win some Academy Awards, which will be, a first for several reasons. It'll be a first, $1 billion plus box office movie that'll win some. It'll be a first superhero movie that'll win some. I mean, it's a weird superhero. It's a weird comic book story, but it's Stan Lee. So, who Who knows? And he's got a cameo. So next year, we could see Stan Lee walking the red carpet at the Oscars accepting a statue for one of his movies. Now, wouldn't that be really cool?
Dude, that would be awesome.
Yeah, especially considering I get worried like deep down because he's getting older, and I know he's older. Like this is not like he's in his 70s. This motherfucker is in his 90s. I'm always I want him to get some kind of recognition from
if there was any justice, they would have already given him a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Absolutely. I'm most worried about Disney Marvel. What happens if he ever does kick the bucket? Like, where is it all going to go? Like, I have a feeling that the spirit of Marvel Disney as it is Stan Lee. Mm-hmm. Without Stan Lee, where does it all go? We see what's happened to Star Wars.
Well, how much control does he have over what's?
I don't think it's control.
The story is when he sold out with no requirements on content or control of his characters or his universe. Now, that's the story I heard, but you guys are much more connected than I am.
Where's Miguel when we need him?
Right. Miguel, damn it, where are you?
Yeah, Miguel wouldn't know this.
I don't think it's going to lose anything. If anything, I think it'll get better. I don't think it's going to get worse.
I just hope Disney doesn't CG him in.
Oh, wow.
As a cameo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The only thing I think you have to worry about with Marvel is they've been so good for so long. You have to sooner or later they have to have a crap. They have to have just a horrible, like, why did they make that? Why did they let this asshole direct it? Sooner or later they've got to have one of those because, when was the last time you had a bad Marvel movie?
Man, I can't even remember. I didn't personally like Civil War, but that was my own thing. I felt like it was kind of crapping on Captain America because it was supposed to be a Captain America movie, and instead it was like a miniature Avengers movie. So I was like, what the hell's up with that? True. But other than that, even that was still better than the average movie. It just disappointed me for compared to like Winter Soldier. But
Thor: Dark World or Dark Planet, wasn't that kind of crappy?
Dark. It was decent.
Ish. There were things about it really good.
I haven't sat through the third one yet, so I can't tell you about that. But I was okay with the first two.
Okay, first of all, if you think the first two are good, just my personal opinion, but I bought Thor Ragnarok. That's how good Thor Ragnarok is. I thought it was one of the best Marvel movies to come out in a long time. And I'll tell you why. Not because it's serious, but because it's just enough humor, but not enough to be stupid. Not just enough serious, but not enough to bore you to death. So I think it did a good meld in there, especially between Thor and the Hulk. Yeah. Man, that was really funny.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin anything for you, but it's one of the few movies that I think I watched twice in the theater, and I actually bought it the second I could buy it on Vudu. That's how much I liked it. And I'm a chintzy, cheap ass who doesn't like to spend any money.
So am I, man. I'm bad with spending money on myself. So I get that. Some of my favorite scenes, period, are the interaction between Thor and Hulk in the second Avenger in the two Avengers movies. So now you've got me. I've got to go. I've got to go. I've got a friend who will let me borrow the audio from it so I can listen to it with descriptions and have a clue what the heck is going on. That's one of the interesting things y'all mentioned. The Star Wars movies in the the first three, the prequels, there are several scenes in there where the action is so fast that the narrators just go, he performed lots of aerobatic maneuvers. That's their description for
Yeah, that's Yoda.
But, usually I get a pretty decent idea what's going on. But yeah, the Marvel movies are really good. And you just have to wonder when they're going to hit the wall. The vice versa, I have to hope that eventually we're going to have one really good DC movie.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think what the closest they've come to me, honestly, was Wonder Woman. Yeah. I really did like Wonder Woman. It was one of the few movies that I kind of walked out and was like, damn, that was pretty fucking good. That was when I was like, yeah. Now, was it
Aquaman's going to be just as good, though?
Well, okay, I'll give you that, maybe. But the thing is again, they tend to do that because I got out of that one was like, yeah, I got good hopes. And then was it? Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. No, what you just did is exactly what happened. It was like they're going to do it. This is the time.
Why?
DC. No.
Why an Aquaman movie? That would have been my question while I was waiting in line. Still my question. The other thing that's interesting is because I don't see the movies, I listen to them and I listen to the narrators. There are some movies that I think are really good that other people are like, Max, how can you watch this crap? I thought the second Fantastic Four movie before the reboot was good. I thought the Green Lantern movie was good. Those are just a couple examples that come to mind. You know, where people are like, Max, there's something wrong with you. Those are crap.
No, it gives me hope because if you think those are good, when you see Thor Ragnarok, you're actually gonna like send us wonderful emails. Oh my God, this is the greatest movie of all time. This is like Shawshank Redemption. This right here is the Count of Monte Cristo redone. That's what it is. No, you won't go that far. But anyways, you know.
Well, the Count of Monte Cristo has been redone so many times it'd be hard to tell which one is the best Count of Monte Cristo ripoff.
My personal feeling is the one from 2003, but it is what it is. You know, I've watched that probably a million times. But again, that's another thing too. I do miss of all the movies. Like it's not just Marvel, or whatever. But I've also noticed that I do miss really good serious movies because I see these movies. We see these trailers, right, where it's like, oh man, this is going to be a good drama. This is really going to be up there with some Shawshank, some Godfather, some. No, they always end up going back to the cheesy action or the really crappy horror, or they just totally
the poorly applied comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, you know why that is, don't you?
Why?
Look at who they got to work with. Is there a Marlon Brando out there? You know, is there an Al Pacino out there? Think of any of the great actors of the 70s, 80s, 50s, 60s. Are there any actors who you could say, I put them in Godfather and it doesn't suck?
You got a point there.
But I mean, occasionally some actors can pull off a serious movie. Like Jim Carrey with The Number 23.
Yeah.
That was something completely off the wall, serious, and I originally didn't see him pulling that off, but he did that movie.
But then think about how old he is now, too.
Yeah, now he's just weird and awkward. But what I'm saying is that actors can do it. They can.
I think Hollywood culture and society has brought us to the point where, you know, because a lot of these things, I mean, we just look at it on the basis of talent. We look at it on the basis of who should be where, but that's not really how it works. How it works is who has the favor of the court. I mean, really, it's all a big courtesan game. It's Machiavellian. It doesn't really have anything to do with who's actually any good. So, you know, the predominating actors and actresses are the people that have gotten favor in Hollywood.
And you hit the nail on the head once before, and I remember this from another podcast, is that you said that it's not that about the screenplays, like, hey, they don't have good choices. They're not willing to take a risk.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like, you know what is going to draw the money right now? Like, let's not take a risk and make a good movie that's going to cost us more money than it makes. Because I'm pretty sure we can go back in time. Not like I have that. I mean, we have it. We could probably look it up. But I'm pretty sure, like, the openings of a lot of these movies that we consider the most amazing movies ever written, ever seen, whatever, screenplays, that they were suck when they came out. Like, they bomb at the box office. They don't make for good start movies, as they say. You know, and that.
Well,
Go ahead.
If you think about it, though, during those days, the movie distribution was totally different. Nowadays, you have, 4,000 theaters, and a movie can debut in all of those theaters at one time. But in the days of these movies we're talking about, there were actually literally people who had to drive the movies around the country, going from region to region, from film house to theater, one box of cans of film at a time. And so I'm sure some of those first box office reports weren't real good back then, but they could have been just because of the distribution chains. And of course, that may be part of the problem. Now, when you got all these theaters, you got all this potential opening at one time. It's like, man, if we don't do this number, it was a disaster, as we were talking about when you were going through the box office numbers earlier. But I mean, think about it. I always get them mixed up because I'm really not a horror fan. But is it Friday the 13th or Halloween that they started taking it around the country, and the first few months it was like, who the heck is this guy? What the hell is this movie? And it wasn't until almost like 6 months or a year later before the country caught up with the movie and it became a big thing. Which movie is that?
It was Friday the 13th because I watched that documentary. It's like a 4-hour documentary that they went in the backseat. They talked about the making of the movies and how it was one of the first movies that they did a lot of like they had to make a room that went upside down. Like they did a lot of like weird shit to try to pull off a lot of the in it, and it bombed. It literally was like, well, fuck. Like, you know, we would, and here's what messed up is I love, what's his name? And I'm drawing a blank right now because the minute I need to say a name, England.
Yeah.
And I love that guy. I love his acting. I just love him as Freddy Krueger. I love him, all that stuff. But you would think we wouldn't had it not taken off because it bombed. Like, it literally bombed so bad that they were like, basically, like, the director lost his shit. People in the studio were basically like losing their homes because they had no money. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I see a lot of movies like that bomb become cult classics though later on.
Yes. Yeah. Army of Darkness. Yeah.
I'm tapping on my poster here.
Tapping on his poster behind him that he treasures.
Army of Darkness, baby. Yeah. Totally rated B. You know, nobody took it seriously at all, but it blew up, you know.
Yeah. The best one-liners in movies ever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really impressed with you guys because it took you literally seconds for more than one of you to go, he's pointing at the poster of the movie, Max.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with you guys. You guys should give yourself some credit. That was very quick. A lot of people would. You don't know how many times I do an interview and somebody's like, they're talking about stuff on their wall or they hold up my book and it's like you know, it takes them longer than it took you guys. So I appreciate that.
No worries. It's all good. I mean, you know,
we're kind of smart sometimes.
Sometimes I do right things. You know?
Shoot, he done did the right thing every now and then.
That's right. When we do trailer talk, he's about that. You know what I'm saying? No, but that's another. You know, going back when it talks about the cult classics, that's cool. But even other movies, like I can think of in my head. For example, like the other day I was sitting in the room and I was with one of my girls and we were thinking about watching a movie. And I was thinking about all the classic movies that I love. Movies that you can watch over and over again. I count them on Cristo, Forrest Gump. There's a bunch of them. I can name them. But of all the new movies that have come out in the last 10 years, so all the ones like we have on our Vudu, I'm looking at Rick right now because I'm like, all the ones that we have on our Vudu account. And I'm sitting here thinking, none of them really have the rewatchability of a lot of these classic movies.
Yeah.
And what made that? And I think a lot of it more comes down to just originality.
Yeah.
And we just don't have a lot of originality. It seems like I said, they make good movies, and I'm sure Black Panther's an amazing movie. I'm sure it really is. I haven't seen it yet, just so you know, Max, I haven't seen it yet. But at the end of the day, I can tell you right now, when I walk in, I could probably tell you the whole fucking plot, scream it out loud, tell you everything that happens in some weird kind of close way, and then walk out. And then I'd be like, all right, now I'm going to go back in 15 minutes and watch this movie, and it's the same fucking thing that I said. There was another movie, me and my wife, we went to go see the last of the Maze Runner series, and I literally...
the one that's bombing right now?
But I literally called it as it was happening, like 5 minutes before it happened on the screen. Okay, that guy's going to come back. Okay, that guy's dead. Okay, that guy's this guy. Okay, they're going to go in there. Okay, they're going to look at, the girl's going to come. Oh, there's the love interest again. There's the real love interest. And literally my wife was like, stop! Just stop touching me! No, just stop it! Stop telling me every goddamn thing. And I was like, it's so fucking predictable.
That's what pissed me off about The Last Jedi. I mean, aside from the fact that I had creative differences and what I didn't like about the writing and what they did with it, it was the fact that I could see 5 and 10 minutes ahead of time what they were going to do almost every time, except for the decisions that they made. I was just like, what the hell? Why would you even do that? But aside from those decisions, I was like, and this is going to happen, and that is going to happen. It was like such a total repeat of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
But it's the structure that sells. I mean, same thing. Like if you look,
it's algorithmic.
If you look at Maze Runner, the Allegiant series, the Divergent series,
that one bombed worse than.
True.
You know, I'd be curious to read those books though. The Divergent series. Huh?
I have all of them.
I don't want to read them. No.
He lied. He doesn't care.
I said I'd be curious to read them. I didn't say I was going to read them.
Kyle almost wishes that he read them.
No, but, so I remember when Divergent came out, and I know we're getting totally off track, but this one thing bothered me. When the Divergent movies came out, I had not read the books. I do not intend to read the books, but I remember watching the movie, and it wasn't the girl actor that bothered me. It wasn't any of those things. Here's the thing. So you're a teenager, right? And you're going to tell me, right? So a teenager, 14, 15 years old, gets to choose a faction, okay? And of the 4 factions...
They don't get to choose. basically put into.
No, they get to choose because the bitch chose. Okay, like
because she's different.
She chose. Yeah, she's different because
the point isn't everybody; it's her.
No,
her situation.
The point is, okay, so they can choose because remember she chose. Now they're supposed to. It's like saying if you're born Catholic, you stay Catholic, but that's not always the case. Okay, Josh. All right, but anyways, so they can choose whatever they want, but they're supposed to choose what the test tells them. Yeah. Right? Okay. So you mean to tell me that a bunch of 14, 15-year-olds, possibly 16, 17, okay, in that range, are going to want to be an agricultural farmer, an accountant, somebody in, I forgot what the other fucking fraction was, but it was boring and lame. Or maybe some tattooed badasses with guns who get to do parkour all over the fucking place. What would you choose, huh? Well, I mean, this is it. So all the hot bitches with tattoos, you get to play with guns. You're part of the cool ones that get to kind of parkour and run around all over the place and do whatever the hell they want. Let me see. What would you fucking choose, huh? The farmer, the lawyer, the agriculture motherfucker? No kid is. They're all going to be like, I want to be in the tattooed cool people with the guns. That's exactly what would happen. It's like, literally, this book is stupid. This is dumb. First of all, and I wouldn't trust them people to guard anything. And parkour, they can't even wear proper uniforms. This is bullshit. This is total bullshit. I was literally watching this movie going, I turn it off. My brain can't even handle the dumbness that is in this movie right now.
But dude, you could say that about a lot of movies. Like, I mean, hell, look at the Harry Potter series. You pre-built prejudices into 4 houses and I
never said I like the Harry Potter movies.
But I'm saying, for the record. I'm pointing something that was extremely popular, that sold extremely well. That it's stupid as a premise. Who the hell knows? Think of a child who's 11. How the hell do you know what you're going to be when you grow up? So how can you pick?
Well, my 11-year-old, my 9-year-old knows she's going to have a unicorn car, work at a job with unicorns, and she loves unicorns. So that's it. I even told her, "Are you sure you want me to build you a unicorn car? Can we get started now?" I was like, "This girl wants to drive a unicorn car to high school. I can see how that's going over." You know what I'm saying? Like, I can really see.
Well, it's black and red. Looks like Deadpool.
There are bronies these days. So hey,
yeah. And he's really in trouble because he lives here in Houston. They have this thing every spring called the Art Car Parade. I can see his girl now when she sees it on TV. She's going to go, "Daddy, they build cars in all sorts of different shapes and stuff for this parade. Where's my unicorn car?"
You know what? Don't say anything. You're never allowed to mention that there's any kind of art car show ever. Because I know her. I do know. She will want a She's dead serious, too. So, yes, you know exactly what you want to be when you're 8.
You know what
I think the question was, where do you actually end up?
You know what's happening after you make this car for her?
Huh.
Taking dead burns off the horn.
Yeah.
When she gets home, like, oh, let's clean this off here real quick.
I'm not making any car like that. No. Hell no.
It ends up being an episode of Happy Tree Friends or something? Like, what the fuck?
No. Oh, God. Anyway, so what else we got going on?
That was our box office numbers. That was brought to you by
Uncanny Comics.
All right, then we're going to jump into some movie news real quick, and then we're going to go on an interview with Maxwell right there.
You almost forgot his name.
that stutter right there, man.
It could be worse. Until about 2 hours ago, I forgot I was supposed to be here. So,
hey, that wouldn't be the first time somebody forgot.
Just say you're drinking and it's okay.
All right, some quick stupid news, real quick. Y'all remember the name we talked about before the show?
Which one?
The black lady, the black couple that named their child.
Black Panther. From the Black Panther thing, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, they named their child.
Panthro?
No, that would have been better.
That would have been awesome.
But they call her. Was it Wakanda?
Wakanda,
Wakanita, T'Challa Jenkins.
But something that's typical though.
Isn't there a kid named Blanket?
The only name there that's easy to spell is Jenkins.
The only devil is like, if you watch the movie, there's like so many other badass names that they could have used, but they used that.
Now, okay, I want you to think about this process. These are 2 people that were intelligent enough to name their daughter or son or whatever, Makadudish Makana. You know what I'm saying?
And that kid's going to be signing all their homework with their initials from now on.
Yeah. I don't think their intelligence span was enough to pick one of the cool names. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, at least it's not like Obu, Obu, Obu.
What is wrong with my
I
name?
think y'all may need to make that a little clearer. That the point is there are much better names than the ones they chose. Not that they're necessarily incapable of choosing good names. Okay.
Maybe they need to have their horizons broadened. Who knows?
Well, they did see Black Panther. At least they got that part. I'm
True.
just saying.
All right, the other bit of news I have, it's like I said, I don't have that much news here real quick. They're going to reboot Logan's Run.
Really?
Yes, going to reboot that. They got the writer for the Hunger Games, Mockingjay. He's the one that's going to be writing it.
No, it's going to suck. All right. That's the end of that. Thanks for that. Appreciate
Pronounce the curse. It's over.
it. Yeah.
And then the director is Simon Kingsberg. He's currently working on the X-Men Dark Phoenix right now, but this will be his the X-Men will be his first official movie as a director. He's just been around as a producer and
And they're leaving him in charge with Dark Phoenix?
Yep.
Well, whose dick did he suck?
We know what industry he came out
But
of.
I'm just saying, like, think about it. Your first director debut is a badass X-Men movie?
But Rick said he was a producer beforehand, so he's above.
See, when you're a producer, what being a producer means, as I understand it, is that means you either have the money or you have people who have money. And in Hollywood, that's all you have to get a job.
True.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
Hashtag me too.
So you're starring in this movie, Kyle? Okay.
Yeah. That's what's
Hey,
up.
if I guarantee you, I've got no acting experience. There are hardly ever any roles for a guy who can't see in Hollywood movies. I guarantee you, I write a check big enough for the right person. I could star in a movie next week.
One man, blind as a bat, all alone. They thought they had him cornered, but he knew how to fight back. Maxwell in.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all blind vengeance.
That's
Yeah,
it.
we'd have to get a whole bunch of stand-ins because I don't walk good, much less have any chance of learning how to fight. So,
We'll just CG it all.
there you go. But that's how he got to be director of X-Men Dark Phoenix. Is he's a producer, he's a money man.
Makes perfect sense. There's the politics.
Is there any more news?
Nah, that's about all I have.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's all the news you got?
Yeah, I was more prepared for just we're gonna.
Well,
do
it's Monday. It's Monday after Oscars. There isn't a lot of really new news, is there?
and I don't really watch the Oscars.
Well, this just in. It was supposed to rain in Houston, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So that was our news for the day. All right.
Yeah, it was like, like a 95%.
Yeah, but
chance.
we live in Houston. I don't know which channel y'all watch, but in my opinion, there's a lot of not news on Channel 11. I stole that phrase from my brother. He says it all the time. Usually as he's screaming at whoever's the anchor on Channel 11 because the guy who used to do it finally left town to go to New York or something.
Where the weather's actually predictable, right?
I have a hard time just watching the news, period. I mean, if it ain't one side over the other side, over this side, over that. In the locker room in the morning at the gym, they play Fox News real loud. And it's not that I'm not right wing or left wing or any wing. Frankly, I'm in the plane. That's kind of how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm somewhere on the plane. I don't know where. And it's sad. It's like the fluff pieces aren't even fluff. The political pieces are so biased on both sides of the corner. It's literally like, can I get some real news? Like, how about some unbiased fucking news? Can I get the facts?
Podcast, word of mouth. That's all there's left.
Well, no, New England is being kind of screwed over by that nor'easter right now, so there's some good news for you.
Well, you don't like
all I can tell you is I'm going to say this, and you have to remember that I can't see, so I'm saying this as an objective person. All I can say is at least now that they've decided, since nobody's going to get the weather right, they've gone back to having hot-looking women do the weather. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I have actually noticed that a lot, and it's literally like Weather Channel. I look forward to the Weather Channel, especially in Mexico, because I have no clue what the temperature is down there. Nor do I care. But good goddamn,
he knows what his own temperature is.
Yeah, it's like, and then she turns around. Oh, hello. Okay, fantastic.
It just went up a couple degrees.
Hey, that weather's in Celsius. I don't care. Don't even care. Don't even give a shit what weather it is.
My brother Patrick said a couple years ago, he said, you know a woman's hot when they move her to 4 a.m. because they think men will get up early enough to watch that.
Yeah. Nice. That's what it is.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and go into our interview section of the podcast. So, Maxwell, and we can call you Max, right? That's what you prefer to be called.
Yeah, y'all can call me Max. By now, y'all can call me anything you want to because we've pretty much exhausted all the pleasantries.
Thoroughly exhausted, duly noted. Okay, so Max, everything that you have gotten into, you've done so many things, and, you know, a lot of people, like, I read a little bit into your about and, you know, the things that are up on your website, and, you know, you talked about how people, they have their own ideas of what they can and cannot do, and they don't even have any kind of disabilities, any kind of problems, and you know, you've dealt with blindness, and you've done things that are amazing in your lifetime that other people could only conceive of as being possible. A lot of people come up with excuses and reasons why they have to be where they're at. What really sparked you, motivated you? Because you came from a background where you had kind of a family business and things went sour, things went south, and you had to figure out a way to salvage that. What got you in at the ground level to take it a different direction, to pivot like an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with how much you have investigated my story because I know that it kind of changes up at the last minute as far as who all was going to be here. So I appreciate that. Some of it started with getting healthy because at the time when my family's business went out of business, we used to operate a carnival here in Houston. For years, we were Astro City Amusements. We may have been at your birthday party when you were a kid. I'm not sure. When my dad died, we lost the business. We ended up having to join up with my uncle's carnival. We had competed against them for years pretty bitterly. It was like, oh, hell, why do we have to lose to these guys? So after 2 or 3 years of being with them, I was feeling some depression. I was putting on even more weight. And eventually I had a health scare, and the doctor said, you know, you need to address your health or you're not going to be around here much longer. And the first thing that my doctor did when I got one is they said, you know, I think you have sleep apnea. And I did the sleep study. I started using the CPAP machine. I started getting good sleep at night, which meant that I had more energy. I had more passion. You know, people don't realize the negative side effects of not getting good sleep. And they include, you know, increased risk for heart attack and stroke. They include potential sudden death. They include impotence and lack of interest in things that you used to find joy in. Tiredness, fuzzy thinking. And so once I started getting good sleep, it's like, okay, I don't want to be on some other guy's business on some other guy's midway. What do I know that I can do? And I thought, well, I used to help my dad sell rides when we needed to sell them, so I'll help some other people do that. And the funny thing about that is I knew absolutely nothing. I had no fucking clue about having a website or a business or doing something, you know, on a professional level where I brokered equipment. And every day it was learning something new. And I honestly think it was the challenge of having all this stuff I had to figure out, the curiosity of learning all these new things. Plus, it was my thing. It wasn't my dad's business. It wasn't my family's business. It wasn't something somebody else wanted to do or thought would be good for me to do. It was my thing. And, you know, for the first few years, the Midway Marketplace, I worked 14, 15 hours a day. And people couldn't talk to me because I was using words that they didn't know what the hell they were, like HTML and Java and PHP and blog and, you know, and those were just some of the ones that even I knew well enough to know. But, you know, it was a continual process, and it was one small thing every day. But I guess the real thing is I was just raised not to do nothing. I couldn't just accept that I was going to do nothing, sit on the couch, watch TV, you know, show up and work a game on somebody else's midway that wasn't making any money. I just couldn't do it. And I just couldn't accept that. But the other side of the coin was I was the one who was the first to accept the fact that I was no longer a carnival owner. And that one was really hard for the people around me. A lot of people especially my close family, were like, "You're quitting," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, maybe I am quitting, but this ain't working. This hasn't worked in several years, and I'm not happy continuing to have somebody else have to put money into what I'm doing for me to keep showing up every day at somewhere where I just didn't want to be anymore." So, what's that old line? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I think that had a lot to do with it.
And that's exactly to me the definition of what entrepreneurs a lot of times call pivoting, is the ability to see where the winds of change have happened, things are different, it's time to take a different tack on things. And that seems to be exactly what you did. You saw where things weren't working anymore and saw what you needed to start to do something differently, and you were quick and you were aggressive and you took action. So another thing, we're going to progress forward to where you're at right now. You've been getting into life coaching. You've been getting into really because people, think they have these perceived ideas of what they can't do, but they want to do more. They want to go further. They want to be more than just, stuck in the position they're in. And they're looking for somebody who will say something, who will give them the impetus and give them the guidance to go somewhere toward their dreams. How did you really get into life coaching? Because, I understand the encouragement. People are like, well, you should be a life coach. Some of us who are like that, are kind of inspirational. We hear that, but how do you really start life coaching?
Okay, I'm going to basically bust your bubble, and a lot of other people's did. That's pretty much how it started. People were like, "Max, we find you very inspirational. You should be sharing more of your story about what it is to be an entrepreneur who happens to be blind." And, I started out offering myself out as a life coach, and I still think I can help people as far as getting unstuck and going after their goals, because the one thing I'm really good is helping people to remove those excuses and limiting beliefs that are keeping them from taking the next step forward, and in many cases, keeping them from taking even the small steps. A lot of people think that it's the big problem or the big goal or dream that's stopping them, but in most cases, it's those first small little steps that they're not exactly sure where to go from here to the next to the next to that. And so that's one of the places. But the truth of the matter is that for me, again, you talk about pivoting. I thought, I'll be a life coach. I'm very inspiring, motivating. I don't take shit for myself. I'm going to teach people not to allow themselves to make excuses. But people haven't wanted that from me. Now, what they've wanted from me is what I'm doing now. They want me to do what I'm doing now for them, which is, how did I get on your guys' show? I sent you a message on Twitter and said you should have me on your show. And you'd be amazed how many people, successful people, talented people, don't have the balls to call somebody up or send them a message or a tweet and say, you should have me on your show. And so people started going, Max, you're on all these podcasts and radio shows and even some TV shows. How did you do it? I'm like, okay, you want me to show you how? I'll show you how. You want me to do it for you? I'll do it for you. And so I have transitioned yet again from being a life goals coach to an online media coach / online media rep. And that's what I'm doing now. And again, it's just like you said, realize what isn't working, find out things that you're good at that will work or that can work. Or as I like to say, find that intersection between what you know and what you can do and what they need and what they will pay for. And I've been sitting here thinking about you guys. I was serious a little while ago when I said, I got to get you guys on some bigger shows, because a lot of podcasters don't realize that they can really help build their own audience by going on other people's shows. And there are a lot of shows out there for people who are specialists in movies, comic books, other, let's call it geek or, whatever you want to call it. And you guys, I think you or other people that do shows like this, y'all could really benefit by people who don't know about you yet seeing your show. That's what I do for people now. And like you said, I've pivoted again. I don't know how many times this is I've pivoted, but I'm probably starting to get a little, maybe I'm getting a little dizzy. Maybe I've pivoted too many times, but that's what I'm doing now. I am getting people booked on shows so they can share their stories, so they can inspire the people, and so they can sell their stuff.
Excellent. Well, I would have to say, for one thing, Max, you've definitely brought the critical thinking to the Critical Thinking podcast this time around. Put the rest of us to shame here. Come on, guys. God damn it. You got to keep up with this guy. I'm drunk as shit. You guys got to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to say something. When we first started this show, I was sitting there thinking, Max, what the hell have you done? You are in the wrong neighborhood. But the more I sit here and talk with you guys, and the more I've listened to you guys, the more I realize that we have more in common than I thought we did, even though y'all obviously know a lot more about movies and comics than I do. But, you guys are really, really great, personable, funny, naturally funny guys. I mean, y'all have great chemistry. If this, if they were giving out shows on Netflix or Amazon to ensembles like you guys, we could get y'all a gig.
Wow.
That'd be awesome.
That's really high praise. We appreciate that.
We can get the band back together. We're on a mission from God.
Yeah. And I especially love how many times during this I have said something that I thought was serious, and then one of you turns it around on me and I'm like, man, I'm really going to have to watch what I say with these guys.
Hey, just for the record, that's my fault. I don't take anything seriously. I do, but not on the podcast.
Yeah, but this has been really fun. It's also been something I don't do very often. You guys are not. This is not the usual self-help show. This is not the usual personal development platform. But I've had a hell of a good time. I would come back here and hang out with you guys again if y'all were open to that.
Hell yeah.
We're always welcome to that.
Definitely. We would love to see a part two.
So, I mean, this is another example of taking a little bit of a risk, being well outside my comfort zone, and having a great time doing it.
I think if I chime in here just myself is, it's funny because a lot of times when people say they want to take risks or they want to do certain things, I think we overanalyze before we've actually done it. We actually create that fear and we say to ourselves, well, I can't do it, i.e. because of this. And there's actually no real reason. It's like one of my 11-year-olds is afraid of the dark. So she'll turn off the lights. She'll actually have walked out of that room, but to turn around and walk back in the room because it's dark, it's that fear of the unknown that cripples us. And when we take that fear and we decide, you know what, I'm just going to take that leap. And I call it the leap of faith, but really just the leap. You find that most people, like in our case, are pretty open to new experiences and new things. It's the fear that they're not open, because we've all had bad experiences where people are not open to new things. And I'm not sure if IE can meet up. In your case, you come on the show and you're like, what the hell am I going to talk about? What the hell am I going to do? Who the hell are these fucking guys? Like, what the hell did I get myself into?
That wasn't what I was thinking when I booked this, but once I got here, I was like, what the hell did you do, Max? And where is that balloon or the tornado to get my ass back to Kansas?
What have I done? But IE, we're pretty personable people, and we try to keep it that way. It's just for us too. Like this is new to us because most of the time the people that we have on the show are comic book related, movie related, producer related, book related. But the guys here in the last like year and a half that we've been doing this, 2 years, we really stepped out of our own comfort zones. Yeah. Don't let it fool you in any way, fashion, or form. I mean, the guys here went to a couple premieres and they went to a couple red carpets, and that fear is present in everyone and everything. The funny thing is you'll find that a lot of people have a lot of shit in common just in general. You said that you had lost a bunch of weight. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because I've lost a bunch of weight over my life, and I've struggled with my weight over the years. Most people don't know because right now, if you saw me, you'd be like, "Oh, you wouldn't see me." Ironically, right now, if
you said most people, you were good until you caught yourself and you started worrying about whether or not it was okay to say most people see me.
Right, it was more along the lines of you're not going to see me, and it would be awkward if you touched me inappropriately. It's like, let me see how skinny you are. Here, come over here.
Oh Lord! I've never done that with anybody. But if I were going to start, it wouldn't be with men. Okay, get that straight right up front. I've never done that because for most blind people, we consider it like stick. It's like cheesy. So most of us would never do that. But if I were going to start, it wouldn't be with one of you guys. Okay?
Hey, you know what? It's like so you got breast implants here. Let me feel those. let me see if they're any good.
No, I've never had a woman ask me that question. It's and come to think of it, I've never even had the women do the thing where they want you to touch their belly when they're pregnant. So, but Back to one thing that one of you guys mentioned, just because it's something I'm doing for an affirmation. You said y'all been to some red carpets, y'all been to some premieres. I've been trying to get somebody to make my life into a documentary, or my New York City trip into a documentary. And as soon as I find somebody crazy enough to help me make the movie, you guys are invited to the opening, okay?
Hell yeah.
Badass.
Awesome.
All right, cool.
We'll send your asses limos and plane tickets and do all that good shit.
Awesome, man.
That'd be awesome. And then I can pretend to be somebody else that's not on the list and throw a big-ass fit.
Put on a huge toupee and everything.
Yeah, just be like, I am on the list. Can you not tell by my dashing good looks and fancy hair? Hello, I am on the list. I have come here all the way from Spain. What the hell? Spain? What the hell is Spain?
You almost pulled it off until you said Spain instead of España.
España. Can't you not believe? It's been a while since I've been on the podcast. Okay, like I'm having troubles with my accents. So, but yeah, no, I think it's really inspiring too that you do what you do. I think the funny thing is that it doesn't really matter what your background is or whatever. I know that Sean had done a lot more research, but I think the irony here for me is I think that getting off your butt and just doing things, we will find yourself just doing more things, and those more things snowball into more things, and that domino effect really does. So when like people come up to me all the time, they're like, "Hey, Kyle, how did you get all your tools, or how did you learn to work on cars?" Because I've been working on cars for like 25 years, and it's everything that I do. And they'll ask, "Well, how you?" And then years of fucking up. That's exactly how I learned on cars. Okay, I years and years of just going like, "Hey, you know what? I could take that apart. Maybe I can put it back together again, and maybe somebody won't know." You know,
Yeah.
you know.
He's been doing the messing thing for years. The extra bolt sitting in your hand.
Yeah, I've been in those garages. My brother works on cars, and I've been there when he's had pieces left over. So I understand that. And if you guys want to have a real if you guys want to get a real fun experience from my past, look up the Brian the Hammer Jackson show on Blog Talk Radio, and look for Max Ivey Small Business Week. It's from February of 2013, I think, as my very first radio interview, and it is god awful. I mean, it is. I called in, and I'm waiting. The guy's doing a special thing on small businesses, so I'm calling in. I'm going to talk about the Midway Marketplace and the amusement equipment. I'm waiting on hold, and when he comes to me, my call drops the call. So while I'm trying to call back in, he's trying to call me back. I hang up on him. I finally get back in. We're connected. He goes, "Man, what is your problem? Are you blind or something?" And I said, "Well, yes, actually I am." And we have about 30, 40 seconds of just stone cold silence. Neither one of us says nothing. And then I started laughing about it. Then he started laughing about it. And then we had, we talked for a couple more minutes. And then he asked me to come back the next week, and we'd have a better set. And I ended up being on his show like every week for 6 months before I started going out and doing more shows. But I'm telling you, it's one of those things. Just about everything that would make a host cringe, things that you don't want to have happen on radio or TV, they all happen. And it was a great show. And like you were talking about with when you do stuff, you do more stuff. I started out filing for a domain name before I even knew how I was going to have the website. I went through the W3C schools one page at a time until I learned how I could actually put up a website using HTML code. I did one horrible, terrible radio show, and 5 years later, I'm not only on podcasts and shows, but I'm coaching other people and getting other people to do it. It is, and that's why when I usually sometimes when I do shows, they ask me to sing. And when I sing, I usually sing a song called The River by Garth Brooks, because the words in that song are like meant for what you were just talking about. They're like my story. And one of these days I'm going to be famous, and Garth Brooks is going to want some money for me to sing in his song. And we're going to have to get lawyers and have conversations, do all that. But yeah, it is one small step to the next step to bigger steps. And then you get to that place where you're doing stuff that, it's so big it scares you all over again. But then you've got practice being scared, so you just do it anyway.
Completely agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Josh, you want to chime in here?
We're all so awed here right now. Come on, Josh. Say something. Rescue us.
You know,
Rescue you
why
from
is
what,
it he always
yourself?
goes back to Josh? Why is the Josh the guy who's the designated bail us out of this shit we got ourselves into?
Well, he's the new guy, so, you know.
You gotta pick on somebody.
I mean, we love him so much. And there's my cell phone. Hang on, guys.
You owe everybody a beer.
I thought I had it on silence.
Silence your phone.
I know. I've never done this crap
SpongeBob?
before, man.
Really?
No, dude, that ain't SpongeBob. What the fuck? That's Lion King.
Tell him to bring my beer by the house and we'll drink one together, okay?
There you go.
Nice.
Dude, it just sound from.
Hey, have you ever had juice, Max, on a lighter note?
Have I had what?
Juice. Joose. Juice.
Nope, I have never heard of it, much less had it.
14% alcohol flavored beer. That shit fucks you up. Just say it right now. I don't get paid to say that.
It sounds like what they tell us about Canadian beers. And anything like that?
On the level of alcohol percentage, I would say yes. It's better than the Four Locos as far as like not feeling really bad the next day, but it will definitely fuck you up just as bad the same day, either way.
Yeah, well, see, I don't know much about beer or wine or drinks like that because I used to be 400, 500, 600 pounds, and when you're 6'5" and 500, people don't want you to drink because they're afraid they're either going to have to fight your ass or carry your ass home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think Rick
I
can
didn't
agree
realize
with you there.
I didn't realize that's how tall you are. 6'5". Wow, you're a giant.
Well, Kyle didn't like me drinking because he can't get me drunk.
That's because your big ass can't get drunk, you fat motherfucker. Every time I give you beer, it's like, dude, we took him out on his birthday once, and this fat motherfucker here drank so much shit, and I literally ran out of money. And he's still, and he finally, because I mean, how much do you weigh right now? I mean, what were you like then? You're like 4 something?
I don't know. Now
You're
probably 4 something.
You're
but-
probably 4. So let's say he was about 400 pounds. I tried to get him drunk. I'm all like, yeah, we'll get him drunk. No. Hell no. I lost all my money. It's ridiculous.
He's fat and he's Latino. You expect his ass to get drunk?
He did start slurring some words near the end, but it took a bunch of Irish car bombs. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And I literally was like, nope, I'm done. I'm never doing it again. I can't do this.
You got to take him to the casino. You got to take him to the casino where the drinks are cheaper.
There you go. That's it. We're going to Louisiana, Rick. Get your fat ass in the van.
Or we can just go to my buddy's house. He makes his own moonshine.
There you go. Say no, but then I have to carry him. I can't do that.
Moonshine is dangerous. Moonshine is dangerous. My dad, he's passed on, but his family is from South Carolina. So I have in-laws who still make their own moonshine whiskey, and I've seen moonshine when people drink it, and they're fine. They have a good time. Everybody else has it. I've also seen moonshine where they get drunk and they fight everybody the next morning. People are wondering, where did the black eyes and the broken noses come from?
Yes, and those nights are always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, just for the record, I don't drink, so I have no juice in my system at all.
Good for you, Kyle.
I'm just naturally fucking crazy.
A model of sobriety to all of us.
Yeah. One of the good things about losing the weight and getting healthier is now when I drink or when I eat, it's all about really enjoying the food or the drink instead of just, well, how many of these will it take for me to get full, or how many of these will it take before I need a nap?
Kyle, that would be your experience.
Hell, I can't eat enough food. That's my problem right now.
Kyle, when he was younger and he was drinking a lot, this man.
I can put it down.
We put it down. We went to Denny's. He asked for the menu back.
Yeah. That was actually a really funny story. So to give you a background, I was actually very overweight at one point, and which you probably already told you, but I had lost all the weight, and I had actually started weightlifting and was getting very big. I was probably like 210 pounds, almost solid muscle. And my dumb ass would eat. Well, for me it was. I mean, for me
for his frame.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Really?
Okay.
So 220 solid, dude. No, 220 solid is pretty big. Dude, there's
220 is big on 6'2". So you're putting 220 on a 6 foot frame. That's
pretty swole.
Dude, I was 6'2", about 410, maybe 7% body fat.
No, not 410. I mean, even Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's like Ronnie Coleman big. Like that.
No, sorry, 240, and I was 6'2". Sorry, numbers.
I ate 6'2". That's not the point.
Well, bone density is another question altogether.
We're going back to the Denny's. Okay, come on, walk with me.
Yeah, let him tell his Denny's story, or he's going to be mad. That's going to be my fault.
Yeah. So we're in Denny's, and we ordered a menu, and I ordered an appetizer and the meal. Then I ate the other 6 guys' food at the table.
Well, we didn't finish.
Then I ordered, they didn't finish. Then I ordered again, and then I was so inebriated and full that I decided to walk out. And I just walked my fucking drunk ass out to the car where everybody else had paid, and I left and I didn't pay. I remember that. That was really funny.
Smooth.
I used to have a good friend. His name was Jim Beppel. He was referred to as Big Jim. He was a novelty salesman on Midways and at the Astrodome for a long time. If you bought a cotton candy or a snow cone at the Astrodome, you probably bought it from this guy. And he said he once went to a restaurant with a couple of his friends who were also really big, and they went to a Chinese buffet over on Wayside. And near the end of the meal, the owner of the cafe comes out and tells his 2 friends, "You have to go. You have to go. You eat too much. You eat too much. You have to get out of here now." And I totally messed that up, and I hope I didn't piss anybody off. But yeah,
I am very offended. This is so ridiculous.
You're very offended, yeah. You ever seen anybody close down a Waffle House? I've seen that one too. You know,
you got some skills. You can close down a Waffle House.
We used to have a guy that worked for us, and he was actually a little skinny guy, but he would go into those places back when they had the $5 buffet, and he would run the help ragged. You know, they would be and he was cheap, so they weren't. You know, there's no tip involved But he would go to those Waffle Houses like 11, 12 o'clock after we closed somewhere, and it was to the point where none of us wanted to go eat with him because we felt like we were being we felt like they were mad at him and they were taking it out on us.
See, that was a buddy of mine and my cousin and I, like back when we were in high school, because there was this Chinese buffet in town, and we would go there, and they could not keep up with the amount of food we ate, and we weren't that big of guys either.
Some people can eat.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, shit.
Oh, dude, I've seen a guy scrawnier than you put away food ridiculously.
I like how I'm scrawny, but I weigh 200 pounds. I'm just wearing an extra large shirt because they're still my fat shirts.
He's got a white dwarf in his tummy.
There's a guy at my work. He's like 5'6", and he works out a lot. He's pretty big, but he always just tell me, "Okay, what's up, skinny?" I'm like, "I'm wearing an extra large shirt. If I was wearing a large shirt and it was tight, you'd be like, what's up?" Like, what the fuck? I'm wearing a blanket poncho right now, okay? Anybody looks skinny in that? Shit.
So much is based on the frame, though. You know, the size of your bones and how tall you are, and it's also fucking relative. You can look skinny and like you're really fat. You know,
well, right now, me personally, I've had some health setbacks in the last year or so. I've had shingles. I had an infection in my foot that almost resulted in losing a toe. I've had several infections because I have what's called chronic lymphocytic leukemia, which is in stage 0. There's nothing wrong with me other than my white blood count stays elevated. So I have a lowered immune system, and I'm up to about 270, 280. My ideal weight for my height, which officially, when they put the tape on you at the hospital, is 6'4". My ideal weight is 260 pounds. So I'm a little above where I need to be, but I'm 6'4" with a very heavy bone structure. So I mean, for me right now is heavy, but not obese. But it's not where I want to be. It's not where I'd like to be, and I really hope that I can. Soon I'll be getting back to where I'm exercising every day again, because it's just been really hard to get back into a good rhythm. And that's one of the things about your health is you almost have to do it every day or 4 or 5 days a week and be consistent, because if you ever get off schedule, it's hard as hell to get back on schedule.
Very true.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's what happened to me. You get off. And also another thing, too, is what's the word I want to use? Too much exercise can also be a deterrent against you, too, as well. That's another thing, too. Like when I was a trainer for a long time, people would come in 5-6 days a week, and I'd ask them what they do, and they'd be doing these full body workout routines with heavy cardio, and I'm like, you're killing yourself. Like, you need to take days off. And I forget too. See, because the body is very quick at adapting. It's adapting at being big, which sucks because once you start getting fat, it wants to stay fucking fat and be fat forever. Then it's also good at,
it's all about discipline. I mean, hell, last year I lost 50 pounds without even trying.
Now you're just trying to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
No, really, like,
one time I ate a whole pizza. I took a big shit and I lost 50 pounds.
No,
it was so easy.
All I did was intermittent fasting.
Oh well, yeah, but but you did try.
But I know what you're saying. You're talking about people who are killing themselves. Is 30 to 45 minutes on a treadmill or stationary bike at a reasonable pace every day. That's my goal. That's what I want to get back to. And I'm just having trouble. And I tell you what, I really would like to find, if either of you guys know somebody that's looking to get rid of a used rower so I can do some work on my upper body, I would really appreciate it. So y'all let me know if y'all run across somebody that's...
My wife's...
Because as we discussed earlier, I is cheap.
No, I feel you, but it's funny because my wife's a personal trainer and fitness competitor. I can ask her to the gyms that she works at or give me one.
See, I've got an uncle who used to run marathons, and... he's developed a blockage in the coronary artery, so he can't run anymore. But when he was running, he would wear that equipment out, and we always had new stuff because, it would be good enough for me, but it wouldn't be good enough for him anymore. So it's been like 3 years since he had to quit running marathons, and we ain't got no new stuff. So, if I would expect that when it comes to working out people on a professional level, there comes a time when the equipment is still good, but just not good enough to be used in a professional setting anymore.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
So, Max, we got to say, man, it's been awesome having you here. You've been a perfect fit here with us. And, just like you're like, what the hell am I doing? We were like, as I was looking and researching, I was like, damn, we got a serious guy here. We got a guy who's going into some real shit here. And we got to kind of bring this in under the Critical Thinking Podcast umbrella, which ironically tends to be more comedic, and we tend to be more lighthearted because, it's just what we are. But really, we're deep thinkers, a lot like you, I think. I think we found out that we have a lot of similarities. So right now, where we're at, Max, we want to give you the opportunity, whoever you want to plug and whatever you want to plug of your own, we want to let you have the chance right now to just kind of throw that stuff out there and say, hey, this is the props I give out there, and this is how you find me.
All right. Well, everything as a good online business owner should, everything goes back to the website, theblindblogger.net, theblindblogger.net. One of these days, I'll tell you the story about how I became known as the Blind Blogger, and I am known around the world as the Blind Blogger, as my speaking coach and wrestling intro mentor keeps telling me I need to get better at saying. I've got a new book out called The Blind Blogger's New York City Adventures, How You Can Make Your Dreams Come True. It covers the time from when I competed for and won one of a prestigious Amtrak Writers in Residency Awards, and took my prize to take a once-in-a-lifetime solo trip to New York City all by myself during the Christmas and New Year's holidays. It's got about 20 life lessons in the book, but it's really a great story more than it is a self-help book. We've put it into the category of travel novels and self-help, but it's really a great book. I tell people it's full of the wide-eyed wonder and brutal honesty that I approach everything else with. And I really want to get you guys copies, and so hopefully you guys can do some reviews or help me promote the book. I'm going to be doing a book signing. Now that I know you guys are in Houston, I really need your help, guys. This is total serious now. On March 24th at 1 o'clock, that's a Saturday, here in Houston, I'm going to be at the book scene downtown on 43rd Street from 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock. I'm going to be signing copies of my books. I'm going to be answering questions. I may actually sing a song. I don't know. It'll depend on what the people there want. But the thing is I want to, naturally, I need to sell the books so that I can continue to invest in myself and continue to inspire and motivate and help others. Because, as you guys know with this podcast, you have to have resources coming in, whether that's cash or assistance in some other way or media help from other podcasters and bloggers. We all got to have we've got to have energy coming into what we're doing if we're going to keep doing it. So March 24th, 1 o'clock, downtown Houston, The Blind Blogger. I'll have all 3 of my books there, leading you out of the darkness into the light. It's not the cookie, it's the bag, and the latest one, The Blind Blogger's New York City Adventure. If you want to do what I do, which is promote yourself by getting on podcasts and radio shows and having great conversations like we just did tonight, theblindblogger.net/online-publicity. I can either teach you how to do it or I can do it for you. So all your ass has to do is show up and have a great conversation. Up to you. I don't care either way. I provide a great service. I've been lucky to help some amazing authors get more exposure. So I'm really looking forward to seeing who my next client is. But here's the thing. If you want me to help you, you're going to have to want to work your ass off, and you got to have a good story. You got to have a story of overcoming circumstances or changing other people's lives or just deciding that you're going to do something big in the world for yourself, for others, and actually doing it. Because as I tell people all the time, producers and hosts don't book guests. They don't book products. They book stories. And thankfully, as we've learned tonight, I got a hell of a story myself, so I like to work with people who also have great stories. Let's see. I mentioned the books. I mentioned online media. I mentioned the book signing. And just one more thing, guys, that I'm through. On May 12th, I'm going to be giving my first public talk in Houston to the Foundation Fighting Blindness. I don't know the address yet, but I have the link on my website. I'm going to give a talk called Life is Like a River, Overcoming Adversity and Moving Forward, which I think is a perfect title for me, especially since I didn't pick it. They looked over my past work and said, Max, we think this is who you are, what you talk about. We think this would be a great title. So looking forward to that on May 12th. If you or your organization needs a inspirational, motivational storyteller for an event, you need a speaker, I'm it. I'm the only guy you need, and you can find me at theblindblogger.net. And I just want to do this, guys, because this is really different for you and your audience. I'm going to finish my time. I'm going to sing a little bit of my song here, and if you guys don't like it, well, you just screw you, okay?
Go for it, Max.
All right. Too many times we stand aside and let the water slip away to what we put off to tomorrow has finally come today. So don't stand upon the shoreline and say you're satisfied. Choose to chance the rapids and dare to dance the tide. I will sail my vessel until the river runs dry. Like a bird upon the wind, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel until the river runs dry. Till the river runs dry.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you, Max.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I've had a great time. Hopefully we've helped some people. We've either entertained, educated, inspired, or motivated them. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
We appreciate having you here, Max. It's been an awesome podcast. We've enjoyed it. So I love it when we get to cross streams and, do things that aren't usually thrown together. I mean, that's where the most creative, the most powerful things I think are built, are where cross sections are brought together that nobody ever thought of doing before. So,
And it's fun and interesting.
oh, very interesting. So thank you so much, Max. We definitely hope that we get to have you on here again.
All right, thanks, guys. And I was serious. When the Blind Blogger documentary comes out, you're going to come to New York or California or Pawtucket or wherever it debuts, okay?
Sounds awesome, Max.
That's
We
awesome.
appreciate that. We'll look forward to it. Well, hey, we've been very grateful to have you here, Max, and we definitely hope you have a good night, and definitely look forward to part 2 whenever we get to have you back on with us.
All
again.
right, okay. Now, okay, well, hey, I've had fun. I'm not saying I would recommend that all of my clients come on your show, but I mean, it's been entertaining. It's when I was last summer, I went to Philadelphia to give a talk, and while I was there, I went and visited some friends in Buffalo. And while I was in Buffalo, they got me onto a podcast called Rise Up Sports. I was on there I was on there twice while I was in Buffalo, and it was not the normal kind of show I go on, but it was a lot of fun, just hanging out, talking sports with 3 or 4 other guys who, really love sports. So it was kind of like this. This is not what I usually do, but man, I'd like to do this more because this was just as much fun as the stuff I usually do. Maybe even more so.
Hey, every now and then you just got to cross streams. You got to do something different.
Yeah. I thought you said we weren't supposed to cross streams. Isn't that the line from Ghostbusters?
It's like, yeah, that is what they said. But remember, they did cross them anyways.
Yeah. They had to kill the immortal. So,
yes.
all right, look, I'm going to go get dinner, guys. I will talk to you later, and tell what's his name. I'll be expecting my beer, okay?
All right. You have a good one.
Take her easy,
come
Max.
by during the daytime hours. I'll be here.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
It's like, all right, we got our partners, Time Out Entertainment, Virus Vodka. We got our sponsor,
Uncanny Comics.
Joseph Kano, the most amazing Hispanic to ever own a comic book store. This guy, he has the place for you right here in Rosenberg, Texas on Avenue I.
It's funny. That's normally a white guy job.
Racist. Moving on.
Then we got, it's, Black Forest Comics. He actually changed it now. He's got something different. Miguel, he was the one telling me about it this morning. Once I get the new name, I will.
Wait, don't tell me it's Wakanda Comics now.
No, it's not Wakanda Comics. We got all our radio stations, Beyond the Dawn, No Fucks Given,
Sling
Flings.
I know we have futures coming up, future interviews that we got coming up also. I know we got Anson Mount coming on.
Yeah.
On the 19th of it, we had to move the No Fucks Given guys, so we brought in Anson Mount for that Monday. No Fucks Given guys, I forgot how far back they went. And we also got Michaela Hay coming up too.
Latest update I have is NFG is Sunday the 18th. Is that no longer?
That's no longer the thing.
Ooh.
When did he? Okay.
He moved it. He moved it because Anson Mount we only can get him at that point. So.
Oh, okay.
And because on the 18th I wasn't going to be here because I was on vacation.
Yeah.
I'll be back for that Monday for the Anson Mount interview. So hopefully all of us will be here for that one. Of course, y'all know Anson Mount from Hell on Wheels and Inhumans as Black Bolt. So hopefully that'll be a nice, interesting interview with him.
We're all pumped for that one.
And also, you can check our website, sign up and everything for our, what do you call it?
Forum or the profiles page.
Profiles, yeah. We've had people sign up on it like that. Hopefully we need to get more interactive on it ourselves.
I guess we need to come up with a name for it. We got something.
Hey, if any of y'all on there, put it, whatever y'all think we should call that section. Give us an idea. Let's see what everybody says. We'll tweet it out. And if whenever y'all listen to podcasts, send us an email or tweet us and everything, what y'all think the name, or go on Facebook and do it also.
Hashtag name that section. I don't know.
Yeah. Other than that, that's our show for this evening. So we are out.
Love y'all. Take it easy.
Hey guys, you can connect with us on iTunes
At Critical Thinking Podcast.
and Twitter
At Critic_Thinking.
and also on Facebook and Instagram.
At Critical Thinking Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Critical Thinking is on Beyond the Dawn Radio, which is known for playing the best indie radio music around the world.
On Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Central Time.
And if you like the show, please 5-star the episode and tell your friends. So thank you for joining us, thinking shit through one podcast at a time.